I walk the streets with my swagger on, supernatural, facing a million opponents, and my role is to act alone. Lights, camera when the action's on. Where I'm on is a battle zone, a vigilante in the catacombs. But I rock with a hot shot like a clock when it's cocked and popped and the lead is gone. People say that my head is gone, but it's them same people with need of my help. When I'm heading home in life, they say that everybody got a purpose. So I roam the city streets like faulty cellular service. The hot shot sharpshooter superhero, destined to shine like light through the dark and evil. I fight for what's right in the hearts of people and try to open y'all eyes, cause it's hard to see truth. You ever feel like everybody's the same but you different? That's when you know you're here to make a difference. Hot shot, you got a choice to make, stand up or stand down. Fight or flight, get up, bang out the world's weight. Can't wait to see what you about. It's showtime, act now. Hot shot, you got a choice to make, stand up or stand down. Fight or flight, get up and bang out the world's weight. Can't wait to see what you about. It's showtime, act now. Hot shot.
Here comes a new challenger!
What's up, everybody? How you doing? I am Mike Watson, the publisher of Freestyle Comics, and your host on this show that I like to call Chat and Draw. And we are here for the 210th episode in the building right now on a Monday night, getting it in. Good times shall be had, and good times moving forward. We've sent out the surveys for Green Zone, so you guys should be filling those out and hitting us back on our Kickstarter. The Vigilance survey is going to be going out very soon. Lori Foster is no longer yelling at me because I've been slipping on my pimping and getting her the things that she's been required. I have gotten her those things. I might have missed one or two things, so she probably is going to yell at me again. But that's okay, because she's the business admin. That's what she's supposed to do, to keep me in track, keep me in order. But we are here. Those surveys for Vigilance should be going out soon. And Lori Foster's not mean. She's amazing. When I say yell, I mean she just is telling me to do what I got to do, what I'm supposed to do. All right, so let's not get that mixed up. And then we are working on our next Kickstarter campaign for Emerald Quest 2 and 3. Woo! It's looking good. It's looking real good. All right, yeah, very, 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 very excited about this. But we're about to dive into an awesome book that I should have had on the show sooner, but very glad to be here with it right now. We're going to bring up my next guest, and we're going to get into it immediately because I was slipping again today. Thought I had some chill time, but it's me, so I don't have chill time. All I have is work time. So here we go.
Here comes a new challenger.
Chill. I think it's time for me to save the day.
What up, sir?
Yo, what's good? What's good?
How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. Just, you know what I'm saying, getting ready for this dope show. I don't think I've actually sat through your entire intro. And man, that was stunning.
Thank you very much.
I think I always catch it like right at the end of the intro or something, and
Uh-huh.
I'm like watching it. But that's the first time I actually seen the whole thing. I'm like, wow, this is epic.
We try to go all out. We try to
Word.
go all out.
Yes, sir.
We actually got to meet face to face for the first time in Atlanta at Rangers.com.
Yes, yes, yes. I saw y'all was gonna be out there. I said, look, I gotta make a stop. I gotta make a stop out there. It was definitely good to meet y'all in the flesh.
Yeah, man, it was good to meet you in the flesh as well. We hung out for a little bit. You showed some support on the books.
Yeah.
We got your Kickstarter campaign, which is in the chat right now. If you guys did not see that, we are here for his second issue of his book, The Scarlet Ranger.
Yes, sir.
Hold on one second. We're gonna get that link in there one more time. All right. So tell us about this project. Who is our man? What are we up against?
Yeah, man. So Scarlet Ranger is about a young man named Deon Davis who inherits the title of Scarlet Ranger from his grandfather. His grandfather was the original Scarlet Ranger, and we follow him as he learns what it means to be the Scarlet Ranger. In the first issue, we have his grandfather's greatest enemy, his nemesis, breaking out of prison and beginning to terrorize the city that he lives in. And so it's just almost like a family. It's like a family story where you have this family trying to figure out what it means to carry on this legacy and this tradition that the original Scarlet Ranger passed down.
Okay.
So that's the gist of the story.
All right. So how I mean is the story that's how does it get passed on to them? What's the scenario with that? Why is he getting it at such a young age?
Yeah. So the thing about it is, you hear he got the mantle from his grandfather. And so the question becomes, why didn't the son, his dad, take the mantle? And it's just Royal City is the name of the city that he lives in. And Scarlet Ranger was the original Scarlet Ranger. His name was Matthew Davis. He, just saw a need in the city and basically took on the responsibility of protecting the city, your usual golden age superhero. And in the midst of that, it caused a tension between him and his family, because it was beginning to overshadow, he was becoming more Scarlet Ranger than he was dad, husband. And that caused a rift between him and his son. And so his son grew up and said, I'm never going to be the Scarlet Ranger.
Ooh.
Well, fast forward, the son has a son, which is our main character, Deon. And Deon finds out about this past that his dad has been hiding from him. And he picks up the mantle and becomes the Scarlet Ranger, which causes a rift between the father and the son now. You know what I'm saying? So it's really a story it's about fatherhood. It's about, generational trauma, generational, tension, and just trying to figure out, again, how do you carry on a legacy? How do you honor a tradition while also learning how to blaze your own path at the same time?
Okay. All right. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. I like where we're at right now. Hey, yeah, we do. We do love the stories. We love them grounded in reality. What do we got here? So I've saved your campaign because I normally do like to try to pledge live here and inspire everybody else to pledge. But I think this pledge is going to be extra special because I think it's going to put you over your goal.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Let's see. I had to get the catch-up pack. I got the physicals 1 and 2. We're gonna go back to the campaign. Oh yes, sir. You've hit your goal.
We did, man. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, so that's what we do here on Chat and Draw. All right, let's go ahead and bring that back down. So everybody else following suit, just because he hit that goal, don't mean we stop. Go ahead and get that man some more money.
For sure.
So we make this happen. All right. All right, we're gonna get this out of here. And then we're going to pull up what I'm working on here because we are working on the sketch. There we go. We'll go to sketch mode on these bad boys right now. All right, there we go.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I feel honored to be here right now. Like I've seen this so many times, and now I'm sitting in the chair. It's amazing. This is surreal. It's like an out of body experience.
Hey man, well, we felt real good that you swung by and came and hung out with us, and like I said, showed love on the books and stuff. So, uh, and it occurred to me that you had never been on the show, and I'm like, dude, how have I not had this guy on my show yet?
Word,
So we had to make that happen.
word.
And plus, this character design is sick. Love it. So we got to get that in here and start playing around with it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, let's see here. Got that lightened up. Add another layer. All right, so why should we be pledging to this campaign, sir? We got 3 people watching us on Facebook, 1 on Twitch right now.
Yeah.
Hopefully, my regulars will come and popping in here and see us because they normally know I film on Wednesdays.
Mm-hmm.
But I am about to add Monday to the regular schedule because I got 2 new issues of Hot Shot to put out before the end of this year, and Danny's gonna kill me if I don't get it done. So,
Word.
yeah, sir.
What'd you say?
I said, go ahead and talk to us about the Scarlet Ranger, man. Why should we be pledging this campaign?
Yeah, I think for me, when I first started writing the Scarlet Ranger, I didn't realize how personal this story was for me. And I remember in the first issue when I started getting colors back, and it was 2 pages in particular where Deon is having a conversation with his dad, Brian, and they're at the cemetery where his grandfather has been laid to rest. And when I saw the pages for the first time in color, I said, "Oh, this is what the story is about. It's about fatherhood."
Mm.
And it's interesting that we're having this conversation right after Father's Day.
Oh yeah.
But that's something I've been thinking about over the last, I guess 2 years, as I've seen more people receive the book and talk about it. I'm like, wow, this book, it's a superhero story, but it's, at least to me and the people I've talked to, it's bigger than just a superhero story. It's about family, and I think that's relatable to so many people, particularly men, young Black men who may or may not have their dad in their lives, or may have their dad but be at odds with their dad. You know what I'm saying? I think this is just a story that speaks to so many young men, especially young Black men, around this topic of fatherhood and what it looks like to be in relationship with somebody, even if you're not always in agreement with what they're doing, And so we have a new artist on the second issue, and as she's been working on the art, she'll ask me questions about the story, and she'll ask me about my life, and I'll be like, you know what, I didn't even think about my relationship with my dad. My dad was a pastor. My dad played college basketball, got drafted to the NBA. And so people who saw me, they just knew that I was either going to be a pastor or I was going to play basketball. I remember my dad played basketball in Virginia, and I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, and I applied for a job, and I'm a junior. My whole name is Rolando Lamb Jr. And somebody saw my name, and the manager comes out and says, "Is your dad Rolando Lamb? Did he play basketball at VCU in the 80s?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Man, I went to VCU. Man, I loved watching your dad play." And that when I heard that, I'm like, wow, like I'm walking around with my dad's name, and with that carries a responsibility. You know what I'm saying? I got to figure out how to what that looks like for me in my life, and I think that's relatable to so many people, and so that's why I would say you should back this campaign, because it's a story that I think speaks to so many different people, especially young Black men.
Well, definitely got me interested. I like that. If I heard you correctly, one of the father's relationships isn't great with the son because of the heroic gig.
Right.
And so I immediately can relate to that because my father relationship sucks.
Mm.
Uh, it's in the trash. The only good thing he gave to me was the talent of drawing. So thanks for that guy. But other than that, there is no relationship. So like,
Yeah.
I love stories that are beamed off of reality. Then you put that fantastic on top of it or
Right.
whatnot. I absolutely enjoy that because then I immediately have buy-in at that point, and I want more.
Right.
Now, when did you fall in love with comics, man? Tony?
So my first love is poetry. Tony, what's up, baby? What's up? My first love is poetry, and I started writing poetry, and then I started writing short stories. And I don't even remember the first comic book that I read or saw, but I just remember when I encountered a comic book store, I remember looking in the comic books and thinking, wow, this feels like poetry to me. It felt because of the economy of words that you use, with the dialogue and that coupled with the images, you know what I'm saying? It just felt really poetic. And so, when I was growing up though, I was sneaking my comic books. My dad, he was a pastor, and he said, listen, this stuff is demonic. You're not doing this.
Oh.
And so I was buying comic books and hiding them joints, you know what I'm saying? And I could do so because they were $3, $4, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I would just buy them and then I would hide them, but for me, it's about comic books, but it's also about just the craft of storytelling. I just love, I love movies, I love TV shows, I love novels. And I fell in love with Lord of the Rings when I was like 12 or 13. So that got me into the novels. And then that just took me into comic books. It took me into this whole fantasy, this whole new world. You know what I mean?
You said you fell in love with Lord of the Rings, right?
Yes, sir.
Get it. Over yonder. I'm trying to get out. There it goes. Lord of the Rings playset over there, Balrog and everything in the background.
Oh yeah, okay, I see it.
Yeah, huge Lord of the Rings fan over here.
I can dig it.
But go ahead, man. I wanted to share that geekiness with you.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's all I was gonna say. It's really just a love for storytelling, and I just love all the different mediums of telling stories. I mean, art is telling stories. So it's paintings and music, like all of it is telling a story. It's communicating a feeling. It's sharing something. And so just that connection is there's nothing like it.
Mm-hmm. So, how'd your dad come around to it, or how did that end up playing out?
Yeah, so it's interesting when I tell this story sometimes, and he heard me. I was speaking somewhere, and I told the story, and he heard it. So he called me. He said, "I don't remember saying that." So
whatever, Dad.
I'm like, "What you mean you don't remember saying it?" He's like, "Yeah, I don't think I told you that." I'm like, Dad, come on. I'm like, this was a formative, because I mean, he told me, it was demonic. He told me that I shouldn't be writing it. He told me I shouldn't be creating this stuff. I'm like, Dad, this was formative for me, because this was a moment where I told him, I said, Dad, this is what I'm going to do. I do this naturally. Like, this is what I do. He said, well, I don't remember saying that. And I mean, to this day, my dad is one of my biggest supporters. He's always, I was talking to him the other day, and he just said, son, I'm proud of you, living and walking in your dream. Like, you're writing, you're creating, and you're doing the things that you said you wanted to do. He said, that's amazing. And, I told him, I said, Dad, I don't really think, I don't think writing is a gift. I think anybody can do that. And, I think it's just a matter of getting in the chair and doing it. And he said, bro, that's the gift. The gift is that you're able to sit in the chair and finish what you started. And so I say that to say my dad is, he's one of my biggest supporters. He's been riding with me for for as long as I can remember, So
Awesome. Well, at least it's got a happy end.
yeah, for
A
sure,
happy resolution, rather.
for sure.
I like that. Now I remember telling you. I remember my mom said, like when I be telling the story, I was like, I don't remember it going like that. Oh, you don't? You don't remember the time you punched me in my chest and I went flying down the stairs? You don't remember that? My whole
For
back
sure.
remembers it though.
Of course not.
Yeah. I don't remember going like that. But it's cool though, because
Yeah, for sure.
I
It's
grew,
all
I, grew, I grew up to be a good kid.
oh man.
All right, so how long have you been working on this project?
So I started working on. So originally, I started working on it in 2014, I believe.
Mm.
I got a team together, and I got an editor, I got an artist, and we were working on it, and my whole team fell apart.
Oh shoot!
It fell apart, so I put it away for a little while, feeling a little discouraged, and then probably 2019, early 2020. I said, it's just sitting in the closet. Like, let's get it done. Let's get it done. So I found another editor and another artist, and we did issue 1, and we ran the Kickstarter campaign for that at the end of 2021. And so this is the second Kickstarter. So all in all, since 2014, it was at 8 years, about 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good chunk of time.
Okay. How did this character come to you? What's your character creation process like?
Yeah. So this was a very interesting, at least for me, it felt interesting because when I started working on Scarlet Ranger, it was at a point where I knew that I wanted to write, but I wasn't writing. And so it was like, pick an idea. You got all these ideas, you writing on, you taking notes, you're doing all this stuff, but you're not actually writing. So pick an idea and just get it done, And so I just chose, I said, okay, cool, let's do superheroes. And so I went with Scarlet Ranger. I picked a random color and then I combined it with something and said, cool, we're going with Scarlet Ranger. And his character, it started out as a very, generic, superhero. But I think the more and more I begin to play with the story and create, when I'm creating, I try to always find that theme, right? That thematic element that character represents.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, he represented a bravery. He has an obsessive quality about himself. And so those were the two things that I started to play with. So he's an engineer. So he's like he doesn't have superpowers. He's a regular person, but he's brilliant, he's smart. So he likes to play with different technologies and he's creating different gadgets and things. And that also plays into his issues with, or the tension with his grandfather, or what it means to be the Scarlet Ranger, because the original Scarlet Ranger was a brawler. He was like a boxer. And Deon is not really built like that. He's not built to just be in the trenches fighting with you like that. But he tries to be in the trenches fighting like that, and it's not good for him, But he has these other abilities that he could be using to win these battles. But because he's trying so hard to stick to the tradition, he's not playing to his strengths. You know what I'm saying? And so that's sort of where the character started. And I just tried to evolve that, you know what I'm saying? Just what does that look like carried out, throughout the story, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, J-Man, I was wondering if you want to make it. J-Man has seen every single episode of Chat and Draw Live since I've aired 2 years ago.
Welcome.
So can you elaborate on what these other powers are and why he's not using them? I mean, well, I know you just said because he's trying to stick to tradition, but
yeah,
ain't he tired of getting his ass kicked?
I mean, he's absolutely tired of it. He's absolutely tired of it. And I think the thing is that so we see him use these gadgets. It's just the problem is that he's using them it's like his last resort.
Mm-hmm.
But that's part of his arc. You know what I'm saying? Part of his arc is, like I said, learning that he can use his natural abilities. He can use these gadgets. I don't want to say too much about what the gadgets are because I don't want to give none away, but he can use these gadgets because it's not about how he's honoring the tradition. You know what I'm saying? His grandfather, his dad, they're gonna be proud of him regardless because he's doing what he's good at. You know what I'm saying? He's using what he's good at to accomplish the mission. But he has to learn that, I don't have to be the cookie cutter Scarlet Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
I can be, I could be myself as the Scarlet Ranger, and that's enough. That's enough to make, the original Scarlet Ranger proud.
Okay. I understand that. I see that. I peep it. So you've created a way for your character to have growth off jump.
For sure. I think that's necessary. I mean, I think for me, that's why we engage with these stories, because in my mind, it's a journey, you know what I'm saying? And so we want to be able to follow, the characters from one place emotionally, to another place. And that's what I try to create in the stories that I build. I try to build stories where, you're coming to a character that doesn't have it all together, and they're learning what that looks like. They don't know that they don't have it all together because I think about my life and I'm like, I'm living out of so many just survival instincts.
Right.
And it feels natural, it feels normal. And it's not until you become aware of, oh wow, this is actually not helping me at this point in my life. You know what I'm saying? And so then you got to figure out, okay, now that I'm aware that this is no longer serving me or making me the best version of myself, now, okay, what does it look like for me to move past these survival instincts? You know what I'm saying? What does it look like for me to stop living on the defensive mode? You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's what storytelling does.
Oh, so you're saying your dude is living in a defensive mode at all times?
You said, am I living in a defensive mode?
So you're saying our main character here is living in a defensive mode at all times?
Yeah.
Now I want to reach out here. What is that because of, like, not only because of the pressures coming from his dad, his grandfather, or whatnot, to be this hero that's in their lineage, but would that also apply to the state of the times as well? Yeah, I mean, I think absolutely. You know what I'm saying? I think it's one of the things that I just believe is that because of the way he's grown up, with his dad, it affects every area of his life, right? Mm-hmm. And so, like you said, like, yes, the times have a part to play in it, but it's really about how he's learned to survive with his dad, like how he's learned to survive living with his dad and living under the shadow of his grandfather. But then that carries out into, as he's interacting with the world, as he's interacting with villains and these different obstacles, he's just reliving that same pattern. Mm-hmm.
So he keeps getting his ass kicked.
So does dad and grandpa have different ways of doing things? Does that ever put him at ends with either one of them?
So right. So and that really, to me, that's the heart of the story. The question you just asked is the heart of the story, because the original Scarlet Ranger said, I'm putting on this suit and I'm protecting the city.
Mm-hmm.
And his son said, I'm not doing it that way. So, and here's a piece I didn't say. The original Scarlet Ranger started like this it's like an engineering firm called Davis Industries. And the son he runs the business, but he doesn't want to have anything to do with the Scarlet Ranger side. So he runs the business, and he's trying to get Deon to stop being Scarlet Ranger and just come do the business with me. Come do the business with me. And Deon is like, but I think it's important for us to have the Scarlet Ranger in the Royal City. So when you say, are they doing things a different way? They absolutely are doing things a different way. And that's what brings Deon and his dad at odds, because, again, why didn't Scarlet Ranger's son take up the mantle? And he has his reasons. I mean, just think about that. You decide, I'm not doing this. Your dad does something. You're like, I'm not doing the same thing he did. And then your son decides, well, I'm going to do what granddad did. You know what I'm saying? So now it's just this, it's really a cycle. It's this cycle of, okay, now, you know, Brian had a problem with Matthew. Matthew was the original Scarlet Ranger. His son was Brian. Brian has a problem with Matthew. So Brian says, I'm not doing that. And now Deon has a problem with Brian. So he's like, I'm going to do what granddad did. So now they in this cycle of sons and fathers just rebelling against each other. You know what I'm saying? Striving against one another. It just creates this tension.
Tension's good.
For sure.
We're trying to create that over in our books too. Right now we're on part 3 of a 4-part story dealing with spousal abuse and how that affects, you know, how that rubs off on the children that experienced it, or especially a child that, you know, wishes that they would have did something back then, but you know, they were a kid. What could they have done?
Yeah.
But you know, they don't. People don't think like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, well, we do, but still, at the end of the day, you're like, I should have done something, man. That's my family.
Right.
And you know, carrying that regret around with you.
Yeah.
That's you know, that's trauma, and these are, you know, the stories that we're trying to tell while we're seasoning it with superhero stuff.
Yeah. Right.
What's up, Chiron? Thank you, sir. I'm trying to pay respect to the character and bring it, man.
Man, it looks great.
Working on these line weights here. So, is this a limited run, ongoing series? What are our plans here?
Yeah, so I'm going to, this first arc is 3 issues. So this is really like almost like his origin arc. So it'll be 3 issues, and that'll finish that up. And then what I hope to do is do an ongoing, you know, I want to get to at least 25 issues and have like a nice little compendium, you know, nice little hefty, you know what I'm saying, hardback something. But I want to, once we finish this arc, I want to move to try to do, you know, like single issues, like bigger single that are contained, you know what I'm saying? Where you can pick up, you know, number 10 and not have read number 9, but still get a complete, you know, a complete story. So that, I mean, that's my goal. That's my plan for this piece.
That is what's up.
I know you shooting for what? You shooting for 100? Hundo?
I'm shooting for a hundo on Hot Shot.
Yeah.
And I had it plotted out. First 50 issues are plotted out in a good amount of detail. And then the next 50 issues are loosely plotted out. But I had a computer crash of 98 on my Google Drive. So I lost a lot of that stuff. And we got Robert Jeffrey coming on to write the actual 24th and 25th issues of Hot Shot. So I had to kind of redo that stuff all over for him again. So I don't know if my story is going to be as long as 100 issues.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me. As we are looking at stuff. So
Yeah.
It might come in around 60, maybe 75 issues.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know yet. The story has evolved.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just know a bit more things now,
Right.
um, I might not make it to 100, but overall, with all of our books, we're definitely gonna hit 100 issues with all of our books total.
Oh yeah. No question. No question. No question.
We're doing
Have you told Danny this? Because I heard Danny say he was trying to do 101 just to beat you.
Oh, did he? Oh my goodness. Danny Quick just mad that he Ace Blade lost the FSK Mania this weekend.
Oh, right.
That's all that is.
Word.
Him and Lumberjacks came to Freestyle Comics Town and they got mocked.
Oh.
But no, I love Danny Quick. Yeah, I know he's trying to do just one more issue.
Yeah.
I do, but where the trick is all our books are tied into one universe.
Mhm.
So they're all going to add up. So it's going to be more than 100 by the time we get finished.
Right.
So, but I know Danny's ready for it. I know he is.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Let's see here. So, who came with the character design for this character?
So all right. So this is gonna get crazy. So when I first started working on Scarlet Ranger, I found an artist on Instagram and just asked him, I gave him like, hey, I'm trying to do the superhero. Like, can you help me out? He's like, yeah. I don't even remember what his name is now. And he put some things together. And then when we stopped working together, I took it to another artist. Her name, Julie Anderson. Do you know Julie Anderson?
Sounds familiar.
So she designed a few things on it, but the official design that we used for Scarlet Ranger #1 was done by Coy Carrion. He did the art for the first book as well. But it's gone through a couple of renditions before we got to where we are now with this Scarlet Ranger. So we have this is like his makeshift, like, he just now getting into the game suit, and as we progress, and again, following that arc as he begins to, learn himself and understand more about who he is as the Scarlet Ranger, he's gonna get, his official suit, and that's coming in issue 3.
Okay.
So, I'm super excited to, finish this up and then moving on to issue 3 and getting that going as well. So
nice. We're doing a costume change for a Hotshot in issue 14.
Word.
But I think we're gonna do it like how Tom Holland does in Spider-Man. He's just gonna flip back and forth between the costumes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andrew. At the end of this month, we'll be at 32 books.
Woo.
So we're trying to get it for sure. That is not the ink pen. There it is. I was wondering that brush was feeling different.
So if I could ask you a question, when you're doing this, what's your approach? Like, you're taking these other characters, like, do you have like a specific approach to like how you try to, how you try to draw it or illustrate it? Like, what's your thought process?
My honest thought process is to do it better than your artist.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. Coming down here on the board, that is my honest to God truth.
Yeah.
Do it better than your artist did.
Okay. The savagery.
But it's all like, I get off on the competition of it, like being pushed. Because sometimes, even though you practice, somebody else can pull it out of you. more so than you drawing every day. And that's the real reason I do the shows, because I need to practice drawing women. I need to practice drawing stuff that I don't normally draw. Um, so especially my women, I needed to work on them. And I was getting a lot of people that were coming on with female characters, and female characters with guns, and I was like, God dang it! But what up, Brian? As J Man would tell you, he's seen every single episode, so he feels like I have improved in drawing my female figures and stuff since then or whatnot. So, but what probably secondary is I want to draw an image that you love, that it's your character, and you have fun with that, and you go do whatever you want with it.
Word. I appreciate that for sure. I just enjoy watching the craftsmanship. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate it. And then just doing the stuff is just fun. It is absolutely fun.
Yeah.
Sitting here and then being able, to chat, to geek it up, and still be chilling. And this show really is it really did develop from the pandemic and not being able to go to comic book conventions, because I'm used to doing this at comic book conventions while talking to my neighbor or talking to the client, whoever's getting a commission or whatnot. And I was just sitting here, man, like, damn, what can I do I can do at home that's like being at the con?
Right.
And this is what we thought of.
Yeah.
But and plus it is very good practice. I mean, now that I think about it, I don't think those hotshot issues would have gotten done as fast as they did if I didn't do this, because I drew those issues 11 and 10. I drew all digitally on my iPad.
Oh wow. Okay.
But then I also took my iPad everywhere I went.
So before that, you wasn't drawing digitally?
No, sir.
Oh, okay.
It was all traditional before that. I mean, I remember saying, man, I'll never catch you with one of those digital pencils in my hand. I'm traditional, baby. Give me a 2H, a 4H, and a good bristle of some paper.
So what caused you to switch? Like, why you make the switch?
I was sharing a room with one of my dudes from the circuit, and he just sat down while we were watching TV in the hotel room. He just sat down and brought out his iPad and just started drawing. And then he started drawing, and I was looking and I'm a fan of his books. He started drawing. I'm looking at his book. It's like, you did all that shit in the iPad? Like, perspective, hotel room, the whole thing. He just whipping it out.
Right.
iPad. And I'm like, there's no reference laying around. There's no light table. There's no 5, 6, 7 pencils. No inking pens. Like, it's just this pad.
Yeah.
And he let me play around with it for a little bit, and I was like, God, it felt like drawing. Like, it just felt really intuitive. And the big thing is finding your brushes. And so once I found a brush or two that I liked, I started going for it. But now I follow a couple different artists who upload their brushes, and then they also give you access to their pages that they draw for DC and Marvel, so I can look at their page breakdowns and stuff like that and use their brushes. So yeah, man, it's gonna be I made my traditional art more expensive. I'll do a digital piece for $50 at the conventions. But
Right.
you want me to bring some paper, pencil, and all that, that's $150, $200.
Word. Word.
Yeah, so I mean, just I said I've been here for what? We've been 45 minutes, and I'm almost done with this already.
Yeah. That's gonna be tough.
So it's just more convenient. I take it to the shows with me. I mean, no, I have a separate little bag, little shoulder bag that I throw my iPad in, and it's just everywhere I go.
Yeah.
I never know when I'm gonna break it out. I got an extra battery pack for it that I carry in there. I never know when I'm gonna be able to sit down. I'm like, oh, I'll just start sketching now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let me work on that next page. But it's fun. It's definitely fun like that. Oh, J-Man just pledged.
Oh, thank you, J Man. Appreciate that.
I do not have a colorist yet for this piece, Brian. You're at $2,547 now.
Yes, sir.
122 backers. There's a link again, gentlemen, for you. Scarlet Ranger #2, Inheritance. If you've been watching. Oh, Andrew's already pledged to it.
Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah, if I love the story that I'm hearing about this and like what it really means for Inheritance on this one. So it's definitely deep, and it's like that sounds good, like for a TV show. Like pick that up, CW, but don't mess it up.
Don't mess it up. I'll write the screenplay.
Yeah, I mean it's not hard, but y'all be messing up stories all the time. I don't know how y'all do that mess. Like that Gotham Knights trailer. Who is this blonde haired kid that's supposed to be Bruce Wayne's kid? Come on, man.
I don't.
Stop playing games with me, for real.
Stop, yo. Stop playing games with me. That's real, for real.
Like even my wife said, why would the Joker's daughter and the Riddler's daughter care about Batman dying?
Yeah, I don't know what's happening over there, man. I don't know what's happening over there. I look, I'm not gonna criticize them though. They doing their best with what they got, I guess. I don't know what's happening. I don't know. Oh no, man.
I'm gonna criticize because that was terrible.
I see it.
That was terrible. I mean, that was just a hard look, man. That trailer was so bad.
No, I agree.
That the game, Gotham Knights came out and said we're not attached to that TV show at all. Do you know how bad you have to be to do that?
They put out a press release.
No, they really did. It's like we are not attached to that show at all. Those are not our characters. We're a completely different thing. That is in a whole nother universe. The video game company did that. I'd have more respect for the video game company if their game wasn't already trash, though. But that's just me.
No, I feel it.
I come from Batman Arkham. And if you're not creating a game of that same level or better, then you don't need to be making a game. And that game just looks like it's a shortcut. Batman Arkham. And if you're not going to do it right, then you need not do it at all.
And that go for everything, honestly.
Right.
You ain't gonna do it right. Just let somebody else take care of it.
That is what I am saying, man. Like I can't understand it. Like they made 3 awesome games. How can you not make this one right?
Who's running the ship over there? Who's running the ship over there? That's what we need to know.
All right. There we go. So here we are in the replay section now. All right, now give me one last pitch on why everybody needs to go pledge to your Kickstarter campaign.
Yes, this is Scarlet Ranger #2. It's the 2nd issue. It's it's a story about a young man who is learning what it means to honor tradition while also blazing his own path. And so it follows Deon Davis as he inherits the title of Scarlet Ranger, and his grandfather's greatest enemy breaks out of prison and begins to terrorize the city. And he's doing all he can to protect the city, his family, and the legacy that his grandfather left for him. And so that's what this is. It's a story about fatherhood. It's a story about tradition. And I would love your support. So thank you.
Awesome. All right, everybody, you know the 3 rules, man. If you've already pledged, the easiest way to do is pledge the campaign. Find a level on there that you like. Go ahead and pledge. That's what I did tonight. That's why he's at goal. If money's tight and it's hard for you, give us just another $1. $1's not going to hurt, and we're not going to turn away $1. Every dollar stacks up and it helps. If you have no money at all because you just paid all your bills, we get that too. But give us a share. Sharing is completely free, and it hurts nobody. It just helps us get out to more people, and we need to get out to more people. So if you can do any of those 3 things or all of those 3 things, it'd be much appreciated, because we're in the basement making these books ourselves, and we need every little bit of help that we can get. As you can see, this is a very tough story, and I'm very much so interested when I get my copy of it to read through it and see where it goes to next. I love relatability in comic books, and I think a lot of people do too. So please give this one a check out. Thank you, Jay, man. I appreciate you. Wednesday, I don't know. I don't think I have a guest Wednesday because it's not on my calendar. So you might get lucky, and I think I'm going to start drawing Hot Shot 12 on this week's episode of Chat and Draw. So we'll see. I might swing somebody in there. But thanks, Terrell, for coming out here, hanging out with us tonight, man.
Thank you so much for having me, for real, man. I look up to you, Mike. I've been watching y'all, FSK and what y'all been doing. I definitely appreciate you having me. And like I said, man, it's an honor to be here. I really feel like it's like an outer body experience. So for real, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh man, no problem. Awesome, man. I respect. Thank you.
Yes,
Making me blush, and I'm dark as hell, man. That's hard to do. All right, everybody. Thanks for checking us out, and good night.
I think that I should ask Mr.